Germany's history is a complex and fascinating journey that has shaped Europe and the world. Its story begins with ancient tribes like the Germanic peoples, who resisted Roman conquest and played a role in the fall of the Roman Empire. Over the centuries, Germany was not a unified country but a collection of small kingdoms, duchies, and principalities. In the early medieval period, Germany became the core of one of Europe's most significant political entities, the Holy Roman Empire. Officially founded in 960 when Otto I was crowned emperor, the empire was not a centralized state, but rather a patchwork of kingdoms, duchies, principalities, and free cities. The empire was not a centralized state, but rather a patchwork of kingdoms, duchies, principalities, and free cities. Despite its fragmented nature, it served as a unifying force for much of Central Europe. The Holy Roman Empire symbolized the alliance between the German kings and the Catholic Church, with the emperor being seen as the protector of Christianity. It lasted for nearly 1,000 years, shaping European history through its political structures, military campaigns, and cultural influence.
This period also saw a flowering of arts, architecture, and learning, much of it inspired by religious devotion.
Iconic Romanesque and Gothic cathedrals were built during this time, becoming symbols of the empire's influence. The empire also played a central role in the Crusades, as many German knights joined the expeditions to the Holy Land, further entrenching the relationship between politics and religion. By the 16th century, the unity of the Holy Roman Empire was shaken by a monumental movement that began in Germany, the Protestant Reformation. In 1517, Martin Luther, a German monk and theologian, nailed his 95 Theses to a church door in Wittenberg, challenging the Catholic Church's practices, particularly the sale of indulgences. Luther's ideas quickly spread across Europe, thanks to the advent of the printing press, and ignited a religious revolution. The Reformation divided Europe into Protestant and Catholic regions, leading to significant political and social upheaval. While northern German states largely adopted Protestantism, southern regions remained Catholic. The ensuing conflicts, including the 30 Years' War, profoundly affected the Holy Roman Empire and reshaped its structure. Ultimately, the Reformation not only changed Christianity, but also paved the way for modern ideas of individual conscience and religious freedom. Additionally, the later Mughal emperors struggled to maintain control over their vast empire, leading to its eventual decline in the 18th century. Despite these challenges, the medieval period laid the groundwork for much of India's cultural and historical identity. The 19th century was a pivotal period for Germany, characterized by sweeping social, economic, and political changes. Throughout the early 1800s, the German states were part of the fragmented Holy Roman Empire, which was dissolved in 1806 during the Napoleonic Wars. This period ignited a sense of German nationalism as intellectuals, politicians, and revolutionaries began to envision a unified Germany. The process of unification gained momentum under Otto von Bismarck, the Prussian Chancellor. Through his policy of blood and iron, Bismarck orchestrated a series of wars against Denmark, Austria, and France, skillfully using military victories to unite the German states under Prussian leadership. In 1871, following the Franco-Prussian War, the German Empire was officially proclaimed in the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles, with Wilhelm I crowned as its emperor. This event marked the birth of modern Germany as a cohesive and powerful nation-state. The newly formed empire rapidly industrialized, becoming one of Europe's leading economic and military powers. Advances in science, technology, and culture flourished, with figures like Albert Einstein and composers such as Richard Wagner contributing to Germany's global influence. However, this period also sowed the seeds of conflict, as Germany's growing power and imperial ambitions created tensions with neighboring countries. The 20th century brought immense triumph and tragedy to Germany. The nation became a central player into world wars, starting with World War I in 1914. After its defeat in 1918, Germany faced harsh penalties under the Treaty of Versailles, leading to economic hardship and political instability. This set the stage for the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party, which plunged Germany into World War II and unleashed unimaginable horrors, including the Holocaust.
Despite these dark periods, Germany's resilience and determination led to its post-war recovery. Divided into East and West during the Cold War, Germany reunited in 1990 after the fall of the Berlin Wall, symbolizing hope and renewal. Germany's history in the 20th century was profoundly shaped by its involvement in the devastating global conflicts World War I and World War II.
The country played a central role in both wars, leading to immense destruction, loss of life, and long-lasting consequences. World War I began in 1914, with Germany at the heart of the conflict. The war was marked by trench warfare, immense casualties, and widespread devastation across Europe. Germany and its allies eventually lost the war in 1918, and the Treaty of Versailles imposed severe reparations and territorial losses on the nation. This left Germany economically weakened and politically unstable, creating fertile ground for radical ideologies. In 1933, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party rose to power, promising to restore Germany's strength and pride. This led to the outbreak of World War II in 1939, as Germany invaded Poland and began a campaign of territorial expansion. The war resulted in horrific atrocities, including the Holocaust, which saw the systematic murder of 6 million Jews and millions of other innocent people. By 1945, Germany faced total defeat, its cities in ruins, and its population devastated. After World War II, Germany was divided into 4 occupation zones controlled by the Allies: the United States, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and France. This division eventually solidified into 2 separate states: West Germany Federal Republic of Germany and East Germany German Democratic Republic. The Berlin Wall, constructed in 1961, became the defining symbol of the Cold War, separating families and highlighting the ideological divide between democracy and communism. In 1989, a wave of democratic movements swept across Eastern Europe, culminating in the fall of the Berlin Wall. This momentous event paved the way for German reunification in 1990, bringing East and West Germany together as one nation for the first time since World War II. Reunification was a time of hope and renewal as Germany began to rebuild itself as a united and democratic country. Today, Germany stands as a global leader, drawing lessons from its past to shape a future rooted in peace, democracy, and progress.